I just can't hide it.
Oh no, demonetized.
Right off the bat.
And it's gone. Welcome everybody, episode 20 of the Triumvirate, or we're gonna change our name. Is that what we're doing? Yeah.
Well, we're looking at what names are available. We're taking suggestions.
Yeah. So we should maybe create a poll or something.
Yeah, it's probably got some like I put some like 30 names that involve Danny in it. That's probably what I'll do.
All right. I reposted the live stream.
Yeah, I'm trying to see the live stream there. Let me go ahead and post that over to me.
Post it everywhere.
Well, Matt, I hope you had a lovely Monday and Tuesday. Everyone missed your show.
Yeah.
They've come to depend upon it.
Well,
I tried to pick up the slack.
I think if there's any day to miss it, it's when the market just wants to keep going up. So there's no worries,
That's true.
So, yeah, call it the founding fathers, huh? The Three Stooges, okay.
The Three Stooges, pretty
funny. These are actually better names than we could think of ourselves.
We really sort of want to have an inclusive name too, right? For when we have like our guests, Danny and Real Blonde Broker over too. So that's why we were maybe moving away from the triumvirate, because it's really more than just the three of us. Us Three Stooges, the Three Amigos, the Three Musketeers.
The founding fathers, I like that. Ichimoku
Gan and Potpourri.
Potpourri.
I guess I'm Potpourri because Kat's definitely Ichimoku and Matt's definitely Gan.
It's all about the IGP. Gotta get that IGP. All right. So I think enough time has passed here. Should I put on some nice music or nah? It's too late for that.
Demonetize further, yeah. Go for it.
It's too late. So I'm gonna show the weekly chart really quick of the IWM, and I don't even need the Ichimoku because we already know it's really bullish. So just looking at everything else, and what I'm really focused on with the IWM is this arc right here, this arc and this 3.618. And if you guys forget, that 3.618 is from the financial crisis back here, 2008 down to 2009, right? So that's the extension level there. And it still is battling it. So I can see this maybe battling the whole week, possibly. We'll see if it can close back above. But this arc that was once a resistance up here did go above and lost it. That was the all-time high. And ever since it came back down to that 2.618, held perfectly. And so that arc is really important to me. And it's more important than I think that fib. And that level kind of sits really around 2060, maybe 2070 or so. And as long as it closes the week above it, that would be 2 consecutive weeks above it. We haven't really had that before because this week it just was a bearish engulfing down 6.8%. And this one has a possibility to close above. And this is all on linear scale too. So I think it's a little bit more symmetrical and accurate. So I think the possibility to hold this is there because multiple confluences of that 3.618 and my level. So we'll see if it has the oomph to close above by Friday.
Oomph. I love that.
So yeah, I mean, it's not bearish at all. It's just battling this zone. So I think the possibility to close above is there. It just needs to confirm it by Friday. So do I think it's going to get back down?
It's interesting. It looks like it's a train that's like splitting across 2 tracks, and the wheels are still trying to figure out which track to go on.
Yeah. I mean, do you want maybe it's just going to like stay in this range until forever? No, it's not going to do that. It's going to choose a direction, and I think that direction is going to be up, and I think the next level is going to be up here in the 238s, and then the full extension from the financial crisis is 253, and that will get reached eventually as well. So it's just a matter of time.
You got that lovely vertical GAN line too coming.
Oh yeah,
there in November.
Yeah, November. That is around election time actually. So that'll be interesting. So yeah, I think that'll mark maybe a new top for the cycle, I guess. So we'll see.
That's it.
I think things will continue, in my opinion, and I don't think it's going to go down and retest levels like the Ichimoku down here, I don't really see it going back to 212 or anything. So I kind of see it staying in this zone, and I think it's just going to keep on building a base to gravitate into space.
What's higher than that?
What's higher than that?
Yeah, where's space?
284 is my next scan level.
Yeah. And then 320-ish maybe.
And then 368, and then the top is 452, and then there's outer space after that. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I've got a Gann chart that I made just today, and it's also a linear Gann, and my level is at just over 289. At 293, but I've got a 150% fib extension at 289.11.
Okay.
I think it'll be the top of wave 3.
Do you want to share your chart?
Sure. It's just it'll be fun to look at.
Yeah, he does.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Here we
take it
go.
away.
So
Yeah, here it is. It's just it's 2,025 weeks from look, the same thing, that the financial crisis here, just before 2008, 2009. And this is IWM, and I picked my wave 1 up here at 159, and the wave 2 down here to 90.29. That's the pandemic. And then now we're in wave 3, and here's the wave 1 for wave 3. It came all the way up to about 233, and the wave 2 for wave 3 tested back to look the same level that we had just before the pandemic. That didn't feel great, but there we are, 156, 57-ish. And then, yeah, so my wave 3 target is probably this 150% level. You had 284, I've got like 289.11. The difference might just be, I don't know what the difference would be. We're so close.
It's just a rounding error. It's
yeah. And then my Gann chart has like this, 1, 2, the third arc level has this horizontal Gann line that comes out, and it's almost intercepting. And that could just be me still not quite deciding on how the Gann chart should lay. You can see I drew a couple of extra lines here to get a little bit more confluence with like where the dip was here in 20 for the pandemic, and then I'm sorry, this is the pandemic, and then this is after the pandemic. Anyway, and here's the August 5th. No, it's not. It's October 31st. That's August 5th, way up here. Anyway, yeah, 289, so higher, and it looks like it's got a good ways to go. In fact, if I just pull this whole thing up, right, like another 30% increase from here for the IWM. That's all I was going to show on that.
Yeah, I see that. I can see that. Do you have a chart, Kat?
Yeah, I
that
do.
does sound good.
There
look at that. You got circles on your chart too.
I do. I have circles.
Are those black holes?
I like. They could be. I mean, yeah, it depends on how. I don't want to use his. I think it'd be like copyright infringement, so I'd probably just call them yellow circles.
Fair enough.
So what you're seeing here is the monthly chart with the Ichimoku cloud being shown. I really do think that right now we've had the beginning of what we call the expansion of the baseline and the conversion line, right? Or Tenkan and Kijun, right? And that usually happens after you have a bullish Tenkan Kijun cross, which we just really had. As a matter of fact, we actually had a little bit of katana. So whenever you have a katana and you have the expansion, and when the Kijun the Tenkan gets about the Kijun, or the conversion gets about the Bayesian, or whatever, tomato, when you have that happening, it can lead to a pretty explosive move. We've had 3 previous very similar cycles ever since the bottom of the Great Financial Crisis. And you can see just how nice the morphology is whenever these things start to kind of expand after they merge. Things kind of go on for a while. Even the last cycle, when things kind of went parabolic, technically a bull trend continued up to this wick up here, right? So technically it lasts for longer than a year. Here, the cycle before that, around 2016, when this happened, it continued all the way up to the top over here around August of 2018. So close to about 2 years, right, when you have the expansion there. Same thing over here when you have the expansion around 2012. It went on, the top of that was not until 2015, so that went on about 3 years. So what do you guys think, right? I mean, that's a possibility, right? The other thing to watch out for too is also the cloud bounce. I would say, like, I would count like the bounce of the cloud on the top right here, maybe around like April, maybe like D bounce. And over here, you can see like there's a little bit of a cloud back test here, even though it went underneath the cloud, reclaimed it, back tested it, tapped it a little bit, and just decided to go up, a lot higher. Whereas the tap of the cloud over here, right? The tap of the clouds over here. So if you're counting from the tap of the cloud, you're really talking about from here to there, again, more than a year. From here to there, you're really talking about closer to like more than 2 years. And then from here to there, you're talking about, more than 3 years. So how much longer do you think this bull trend is going to run for IWM?
Murphy says it's going to zero.
Very interesting. Wait, who thinks
just someone in the
going to zero?
comments. Murphy says Russell going to zero.
Yeah. I see a lot of zeros. I see like maybe even potentially like 1030. I mean, like there's plenty of zeros up above. Yeah, I mean, I can keep going. I see all these zeros up here. But anyway, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, if you just based on cycle analysis, and this really kind of gives you a pretty good picture. Another way to look at it too, I just want to revisit this, look at the Bollinger Band. Usually every single cycle, whenever the bull trend starts to exhaust, you start to have a little bit of a Bollinger Band contraction. Whenever cycle is starting to be over, you have a little bit of a contraction. But when a bull cycle starts, you usually have a little bit of expansion, right? A lot of expansion over here. And what do we have here so far? You have a little bit of expansion. There are really no signs or any like Bollinger Band contraction at all. So anybody who's calling for the market top right here, I think is like a little bit prematurely exiting. I should say. I shouldn't say ejaculating. It's inappropriate. I don't want to just demonetize, but prematurely exiting the market. No, let me just put it that way. So yeah, that's all.
All right. Well, somebody asked for it, so here it is.
Woohoo! Demonstrate the katana.
What is that?
Somebody wanted to see some swords in there, right? So
that was fact.
There's even was a katana on the daily chart too, and that's been playing out as well. So got to have that sword emoji, right? Yeah. Or that's kind of like a dagger, not really a sword.
Yeah. It's very daggery.
Yeah, let's just delete it. I don't like it anymore.
Yeah, it's a little stumpy. It just doesn't have that energy to it. So.
Cat is getting so sassy lately. I love it.
It's because I'm no longer a big account on X. I don't care anymore.
He can just talk ish all he wants now. Yeah,
that's right. I'm a less than 10K account. Nobody cares.
So there's a question here. China, where do you see HSI going to? Well, funny you should ask. So right here, if you remember I made a post today actually about when it was right down here, I was like, oh, that looks like support. And sure enough, that was support. And then it just took off. So where is HSI going to go? Well, it's probably going to go higher, right? It's flipping that arc back to support. And this is on linear scale as well. And I think it's going to go eventually back to that level, maybe 22,300, 22.4. So it's looking better and better over time.
Heidi says it's a falling wedge.
It's a falling wedge, yeah. Yeah, you can call it that.
Heidi, do you want to come on?
We can send you something. The link.
The link. We can send you the link to the show.
And should we move on to what?
Yeah, because we want to make sure you got enough time to do the we teased the altcoins tonight.
Yeah. So yeah, we can start because everybody loves Tesla, and so do I. So we'll go to Tesla, and this is the chart that I'm paying attention to the most right now. The linear scale fibs of Tesla, and technically the 50% is not a fib level. It's just a halfway point between the all-time high and the 2023 low. And everything else is a fib level except for like the halfway points, right? Yep. But I think what's going to happen next is this is going to challenge the 258, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, sometime this week. And I'm going to be looking for a weekly candle close above it, because when you look in the past, we have not seen a weekly candle close above it since this fake little one right here on October of 2023. So it would be a big deal, in my opinion, if a weekly candle closed above that 258.15 exactly, right? So that's the number I'm watching for the whole week. Nothing else really matters. Like the Ichimoku cloud doesn't matter to me. Nothing matters right now. Just getting above the halfway point, because historically it has been a very, very important level. So that's me for Tesla.
Indeed. And if you want to switch to me, I'll pull. By the way, Heidi wanted to make sure that we knew that she was talking about IWM, not the Hang Seng index.
Oh, yeah.
Falling wedge.
Yeah.
Tesla. Here's my Tesla chart today. It was a lovely opening here with a gap up. I was up at 3:59 this morning. Like, I just have to see what happens. And boom, here we are at 4 a.m. this morning. The gap up, runs up here. I thought we were going to see that 50%. Look, here's my 50% right here, 258.15. And I thought we might get to it today, but no. We got stuck under the, let's see, the monthly R1 and the weekly R2. So it came right up to the weekly R2 level pivot of 256.72. Actually, I hit 257.19. And then what did it do? It went right back down. And at first it teased the gap, and then it closed the gap. And I said, you know what? I've seen this before. This is just going to delay. It's in a delaying move now. So I think the market's going to try to keep price between this 257 level and this 250 level for the rest of the week, and just kind of run the thing out and let them catch up on their options and stuff. So we might see a close just above, over 254 maybe for the week, which is still really nice. We got to close over 250 for the entire week. And it's going to put off the challenging the 50% fib level until next week, is what I'm guessing. Because what it can do, or unless it just decides to take off tomorrow, but very likely, probably just going to keep pushing like this. So it goes up far, down that far, up, down that far, and then it just makes it finish out the week here around 254-ish. And then next week we can test out the 258 level. On the longer chart, let's see, is it the same one? Oh, here's just something I was toying with. What if we get a measured move? That means if this ABC, if the A wave is the same length as the C wave, or rather the C wave is the same length as the A wave, you can see that's all I've done here is I just moved it over here. And you put it on the top of the B, and then that would give us 336.87 if it was a measured move. But otherwise, I'm looking for one of these paths where Tesla off of the 101 low to the 300 high, the 138 low. We could get 411.72. I'm sorry, we already got, no, we haven't quite got, we got 283, then 232.50. No, I'm sorry. I was saying it right before. This is the 1-2. So we go to 411.72, 336.28, and then 609.20. If it just went by these fibs off of the 101.81 low, 101.51 low. Otherwise, if we go off one of these smaller lows, like the 138.80 low to the 271 high to the 182 low, then we get these ones that are 283, 230, 250, 364.70, 314.20, and then 496.89. So probably I would think that the larger wave would have more weight. And then there's one more possibility that we just get this crazy rip up that takes us all the way to 580. And it's going to feel like an A, B, like all of this from the 101 low, like this is A, B, and then C up to here to 580.37. And that's exactly the kind of feel that we got back here from 2021 to 2022. So if we get a repeat of that, this is what it could look like. I got Johnny Storm up here helping me with the blazing move. And that's sort of my medium term, I guess all this is short term. This is medium term, and then long term is like when all this builds into the next level that goes into Matt's zone in the Gann charts up in the thousands and beyond. So, and what'll just happen is as we start testing these levels, if it goes over 283 and keeps going, I can just eliminate this path, and then it'll just be like this path or this path, and if it goes over 411.72, then I know it's the melt up, and we're just going to go to 580 after that. That's my Tesla chart. So great things are coming.
Yeah, they are. It's going to be magical and beautiful with lots of unicorns.
Yeah, I just looked down here. This is the daily chart. These are daily candlesticks, and here's the MCDX, the Danny-like chart, and we're up to 67% whales, and somehow the retail has got -0. But,
I do like myself some -0.
I know, right? The retail traders, they're trading, but it's so small compared to what the bankers and the mid-size players are doing. It just doesn't even register.
Yeah, -0 is my favorite number for retail.
-0. If I go to the weekly, it's like 1% retail, 68%. This is like super bullish on the weekly.
Yeah.
Does it even do a monthly? It does. Ooh, look. Well, that's crazy. 80%. But that's it's accurate, but it's just sort of crazy to think about because it's mostly just the bankers and whales moving all this. Anyway, I'm relinquishing my control.
There you are, Kat. It's your turn.
You're relinquishing your control. So somebody said Ichimoku cloud doesn't matter.
Well, not to me right now. Not to me.
Not to you.
It's
right
basically
now.
the same level, though. That's why.
-0. Michael Ziski that says retail is getting negged.
Negged, yeah.
Yeah.
And poor
They really are. I mean, I'm looking at the 2-month Ichimoku cloud, which is like the hot girl that I always look at, who's rejecting Tesla for like over 2 years now. And right now we're at pretty close to resistance here. I guess the top of the cloud right here is around 258.
See, that's why it doesn't matter.
but it matters because it's cool.
But I think the halfway point is kind of more of an importance than just that cloud. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Fair. But if it breaks above the cloud and if it convincingly closes above the 2-week cloud, because that's just how important it was as a resistance level, right? I mean, just look, like it's ridiculous, like how ridiculous it is in terms of resistance.
Yeah.
Right? But if we're able to close 2 weeks above it, I suspect. I'm not sure if this week we end up closing above or not. I think we might, but if we close above of that, like for two week candles in a row, whew, I mean it's
moon time, moon boys.
Marubatsu candles.
Yeah, bunch of it. So I got the Bollinger Band here. So with Bollinger Band, I come Mr. Elastic. Gives you stretchy, squeezy.
Reed Richards.
Yeah. So what you're seeing here, you do see a little bit of Bollinger Band squeeze. I cannot really be that bearish on Tesla. Like I really haven't been that bearish on Tesla ever since July of 2024. Like you just cannot, because the 20-month moving average has curled from like negative sloping to positive sloping and now it's serving as support, right? I mean, it's pretty clear in terms of what it's doing. And it's also getting a little bit squeezy too. So I think the sideways action probably is going to bring on like a bigger move, and a bigger move is probably going to favor to the upside. So the other thing too, I was actually looking at like the 50 EMA. I was look at how nice the 50 EMA has served as support.
Nice.
Like, this is like absolutely beautiful. I actually didn't really look at that. I was just clicking things. I was like, oh, 50 EMA, nice. Like you can't be that bearish here anymore. I just can't. I don't know like what else to say. Like but none of this matters. Okay, I'm gonna get off.
No, but one last thing I want to show on mine is this line right here. This is at current price. This is current price. You can see, look at that. From back here, 21 resistance. Here, support 22 February, March 22. Then it broke down below, and then it was a bear market. Then it was like a resistance, and still resistance. So current price of what it closed at today is a very important level too, even before that 258. So I think that's why we saw some selling pressure after it broke a little bit above that price today, because history is telling us that this level is super important. So yeah, lots of confluence that this might be tough to break, but once it breaks, it's going to break. And another thing I'm really watching is all the sequence of the lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Once we get our first higher high above here, let's just call it 270, 271, then it's going to be its first official higher high. That's going to be like a changing market character completely. And that's just going to be a beautiful thing for the future. And it'll be the true confirmation, in my opinion, that it's now a bullish, very bullish chart.
With higher high after higher high.
Yeah. The first higher high after 3 years of sadness, right?
It's been rough for a lot of traders and investors and holders.
Yeah. So what's next? What are we doing? Palantir?
Sure. Let's do Palantir. We'll try to do Palantir quick and make our way through to Bitcoin and onto the miner. Well, you want to do miners, or you just want to go into your alt?
I think we might go more into alts. I think that's what really good at doing. But
the daily candle close is going to be 3 minutes, and I wanted to show Bitcoin right now before this 3 minutes happens. Look at that. 200-day moving average, guys. It's going to close above.
Nice.
Yes.
It's going to close above. So whoever is short, I would not want to be short, but it is starting to slope downwards a little bit. I don't know about that.
Let me get my protractor.
Yeah.
It's still not a higher high yet, technically, right?
Yeah, it's still not a higher high yet either.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to zero.
It's going to zero. Yeah, so I think Bitcoin, that is a good first step. But the reason why I didn't do it last time, though, is because of the Ichimoku cloud got in the way, right? So now there's no more Ichimoku cloud in the way above that 200. So that means there's really less and less resistance. So I think it really does have the opportunity to go back to the 68, 69, 70,000s. I really do. So this could be the beginning of something magical.
Hilarious. Vivian says that be right back, guys. Activating margin accounts so I can short Bitcoin 1,000 and then flip long.
Well, if you can time it perfectly, that's a good move, right? But yeah, so let's see. It's going to be 50 seconds exactly until the weekly or the daily candle close. So yeah, it's definitely going to close above unless we just see a giant sell-off right now. But this is also a good thing for everything else, right? For alts, for all of crypto and Bitcoin and MSTR and coin and all of that stuff. Even the miners. I mean, we can talk about it later, but yeah, the miners actually had a really good day and it improved the charts tremendously, in my opinion. I don't know if Kat agrees with that or not, but
yeah. Scott's basically saying that, I was talking about how bullish Clean Spark was until it wasn't. Sorry, my bad. But I'm still in it, But anyway, we can talk more about it later.
Yeah, we can talk about it later. But yeah, 4 seconds. Let's get that candle closed. Yeah, so here we go. Boom, it closed. So that's a good first step, right? It hasn't done it for the past week, and now it finally has. So let's see if that 69 or 63.9 can be support now to go higher. So this is a good development for
ding, ding, ding.
Bitcoin.
It's closed over the 200 moving average.
Yep.
Officially.
And now let's look at total. Total also has a lot more room to run, I think, because it's still battling its previous levels here, but again, the cloud was kind of in the way last time, and now it looks like it's free to go to the 2.271 trillion up there, and things are looking good, progressing nicely. And now let's talk about the altcoins, and we're going to go to my log scale chart, and same situation, right? It finally broke above the 100, and it did that like 4 days ago or something, and that was the first time it broke above since it broke below back in May. So that was quite a few months of a bear market there, right? And now it looks like it's the beginning of something beautiful. It's above almost every single resistance on this screen, except for the 200-day moving average up there. So better and better for altcoins. Weekly chart also improving nicely, but it's getting at the weekly resistance right now, right? So I'm not sure how much more momentum it does have. Let's see. It's got to break through the cloud. It's got to break through the 50-week moving average, and then some baby steps, right? But it is headed in the right direction. And after taking all this off, just want to show that that blue level was a perfect back test after it broke out.
Want to hear something really interesting? Do you have a visual range volume profile that you can pull up?
On this one, I have this.
Who's training?
Okay, so go bring the Ichimoku cloud back up again.
Nice.
Sometimes, if there's a volume shelf gap right through the cloud, it just wicks through that cloud so fast.
Yeah, actually, right here, there's really not much volume.
Yeah, see, it might just like zoom right up through that cloud into the upper zone.
Yeah, that's true. Like right at where the baseline is when the volume picks back up at 255.
Just something I've noticed sometimes you get a little bit of confluence. Like anytime you have a wide Ichimoku cloud that you're underneath it, I check for the volume shelf and say, oh yeah, like it's going to wick right through that thing.
Yeah. So that is looking better and better too. But just like the GAN alone here, it was just confirmation that it was a breakout back test and then a breakout and another back test. And it did not go lower. It never closed a weekly candle below this blue level. And that was enough to send it higher. So this is basically confirmation that, yeah, that week right here of August 5th was the bottom, right? That's just more confirmation that it was the bottom. And things do want to proceed higher and higher and higher over time. And eventually, yes, the altcoins are going to get to a big whopping 14 trillion. That's what it's saying.
Oh,
really.
yeah.
And that's not including Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, stablecoins, or anything. So that's going to be a massive move that nobody's going to see coming. And it's probably going to last a long time, many, many years. So, but during that time, I think there still will be very volatile, like a lot of volatility. There could be like 30%, 40% down times during that time, but still the trend should be up now and it should break into higher highs sometime in the future. Not sure when exactly, but this chart is just telling me, it's giving me bullish vibes that everything held a support perfectly and things want to continue much, much higher.
XRP still in the top 10. Wow.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Just real quick, this is the daily chart for Bitcoin over others. So you want to see how Bitcoin is performing compared to the other altcoins. Just when a bunch of Bitcoin maxis is talking trash, there are a lot of Bitcoin maxis talking trash over the last few weeks. It just formed a lower high and a lower low. You know, I mean, like I think this might indicate maybe a little bit more of a risk on sentiment that is coming. Maybe we're gonna potentially get a little bit of shift in Bitcoin dominance too. We'll see. I just wanted to kind of show that because really over the last few weeks, you really have a change in character in terms of how Bitcoin's behaving relative to altcoins. So that's what I wanted to show. You guys want
awesome.
Yeah, you want to keep talking about alts, or you want to go in Palantir? Or I mean, now that you're welcome.
Yeah, I mean we're on the altcoins. Do you have any charts tracker before I pull up my screen again?
No. I was going to say keep doing the alts. I'm trying to do a DK's got a request on AUR, Aurora Innovations. I'm just trying to whip up a quick chart on it. So go ahead and keep doing the altcoins.
Yeah. So others chart is just telling me altcoins are ready, and the altcoin charts individually are telling me that they're ready. And I'm going to just start with really the most explosive one right here, TAL. Just incredible, right? And I posted on X that I made a post about the chart is really bullish when it was kind of like breaking this angle. I'm like, it's still bullish, really bullish. And just to prove that market symmetry worked, it went exactly down to the next angle, right? And I didn't change anything. You saw it on the X post. It just magically went down there and it held it as support the whole time, and now it went higher. So it's like, this is just proof how angles are more powerful than trend lines, because they do have exact, especially on linear scale, but this is log scale, because they have like a specific degree between them, right? It's not just a random number, it's specific, right? So this is really going to gravitate higher now towards the green angle or the green level again around 802. So Tau is one of the most explosive ones I've seen so far. It's above every resistance level now on the Ichimoku. It just looks beautiful now. And I think if it closes this week above everything, then it's just probably going to build a new base higher, and it's probably going to explode to this level again, and then eventually flip that level. And I think it's going to go much higher to the 2400s and maybe even higher than that too. So good things are coming, and maybe BitTensor is leading the way. Maybe it just is not going to be Ethereum this time. Maybe it's this one. And this is the first one really that broke through every single resistance besides the previous all-time high. So there's that. And also let's take a look at Ethereum right now. And Ethereum, it did get back above my angle here, but it's still lagging behind a lot of things, right? It's still lagging behind a lot of other altcoins, and it did hold support perfectly, though. It was just a perfect backtest numerous times of the 200-week moving average, and it held perfectly. So nothing ever got broken on this chart. Nothing really got broken on any chart. So therefore, that just means that it's going to be maybe a slow process to break through all this resistance, or maybe not. Maybe it can do what Tau did and just shoot through directly and just continue higher. But once more and more charts break through every single resistance level on the weekly chart, then I'm going to be getting a lot more bullish, because there's not going to be much stopping it, stopping those coins until that happens, right? And
I just want to remind people that you can watch last week's show and see Kat do a chart where he compared Ethereum to Bitcoin and showed how it's possible in the future Ethereum could outperform Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's just keep on going down on like a bullish divergence for like a whole year. And that's just kind of to show you that things can keep going down on bullish divergence. So anyway, yeah, it's okay. I won't show it again, but
okay.
Yeah. I mean, like,
we can watch last episode for that one.
Just look at what you have here, though, right? Does it look like Ethereum care about the weekly Ichimoku cloud? It doesn't look like it.
It just broke through it. Yeah, it cared more about the 50,
like butter. I mean,
it cared more about the 50-week moving average than anything else. But yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's just proof that things held their support. Right, nothing got broken. Even on Ethereum, it did get lower than a lot of people expected, me included. I thought it was just going to hold the cloud and go higher like Bitcoin did, but no, it broke through. But still, it just went to test a lower level of support, and that's why they're called levels, because it's not a guarantee they're going to hold, but the next level is available to hold as support, and that's exactly what it did. So very, very good development for Ethereum, especially getting back on top of that angle too. So I think the trend is still higher for that as well.
I think it's also a pretty important thing in the context too about Ethereum, because around I think around November 2022, that's when Bitcoin had formed the final lower low, right? Like that was the bottom, but Ethereum actually formed a higher low then.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider, like, you know, just like the Bob Dylan song, which I'm not going to sing because I don't want it to get demonetized. You know, like what comes in first or later come last. You know, it's not necessarily like you just have to have like a little bit of patience. I think Ethereum is going to do pretty well. The greatest pain is to see your stuff doing well, but other people do better. Like that's the greatest pain. It's not so much like you're doing well, but like when you look at everybody else, like you're eating like these giant jumbo shrimp and everybody else eating lobsters, like you're just like, man, what am I doing? But anyway, yeah, that's it.
Fair enough. And now we're going to move on to Solana, or I'm going to. So it did exactly what Bitcoin did, really, except Bitcoin exploded through all this resistance faster, but this touched the cloud perfectly, rode it up, exploded higher, and now it's battling the weekly conversion line, 151.99. It is currently above it right now, so, but still, there's 5 days left in the week. Let's see if it can close above to get to maybe the 157 and above. But the most important thing here is this, the symmetry, I think, and when you zoom out like this, like it was pretty obvious that this time around it wasn't really going to break through, because you had multiple confluence of resistance. You had the arc, the level, and the angle there all battling right here, and plus a previous all-time high. So it was kind of obvious it was going to go down to this level. I didn't know if it was going to go back down that low, but it sure did. But fair enough, like it still is holding this angle, and it's building energy to get back to this arc. And you can see how important that arc is, resistance there. So I think once it's above that 181, 182, then it'll probably battle and break through this previous resistance there and go higher. So this chart is also bullish, but it still has some resistance to go. But like I said before, once more and more charts break through all their weekly resistance, I cannot be like conservative or cautious anymore. It's going to be like things are going to go much, much higher.
Bye.
Yeah, and the people that are underinvested, I think, are going to be scrambling, and that's going to cause an even more massive increase higher and higher because of those breakouts. And that's what you see with TAL, really. TAL, it broke that resistance, so it's just a massive buys, right? And maybe some short covering too, if you can short TAL on some exchanges, right? So that's looking really good. And there's AVAX too. AVAX, really, I like this chart a lot. So much. This level is so perfect that it held. It did do like a V bottom below it. It's so nice to see that it's back above $24. And it looks like, yeah, it just wants to go much higher too. It's going back towards the cloud. It still has a lot of room to go towards that cloud, like the 36s. And I think the momentum is going to carry it into the 30s. And I think that 30s is going to happen relatively quickly, maybe this week or next week, because there's not much resistance until these previous candles here in the 32s. So I think the trend is your friend. And right now, the momentum wants to say higher. And I see somebody said something about SUI. Yeah, so we can do SUI. SUI. Yeah.
That was Vivian talking about relative strength also.
The RSI,
yeah. I think also one thing about relative strength too is if everything is if all the degens come in, they feel like they're missing out, they're going to pump like the stuff that lags behind too. So I think they might, even the things that don't have relative strength right now, I think eventually towards late cycle, they're probably also going to pump as well. Yeah, it all depends on how you want to position. You want to trade around, you can. I think you can chase the strength ones and then maybe flip later, which is what everybody else does. All the big money traders, all the whales, like that's what they do, is flip one thing to another, leaving you back hold everything else that pumped. So
yeah, pretty much. But this is exactly why you want to buy supports too, because when prices break resistance, they accelerate, and they accelerate so fast that it leaves so many people behind, and then they want to buy the top. And that's why buying support is really, really important. And it gave you so much time to do it. But during that whole time, what was the narrative? There's just a bunch of fear during this time, right? So that's when the opportunities arise. And as long as market structure remains bullish, which it was, like this never broke anything, right? It just retested an angle, never really went back down to challenge the previous lows in 2023 at all. And so many coins look like that, right? They never broke their 2023 lows. And that means that was the opportunity when they went back to retest those low levels. And now, like TAL, like SUI, they're breaking through resistance now. And this is why you're seeing acceleration of 47%. Now you see a 10% just starting. Maybe it's going to keep going to the orange level, maybe 190. But this is going to happen more and more. And when it happens more and more, it's just going to create a really explosive move for altcoins. And that's why myself, and I think Kat is also pretty excited about the future for altcoins, because they are finally looking better and better.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to get bored after a while.
God, I just made too much money. This is ridiculous.
Just keep looking better. I'm very,
so boring.
It's so boring.
Maybe we'll start getting excited about what the coins are doing.
Yeah,
they're technically like their use cases and stuff, how those use cases are going.
Yeah, that's where it's going to switch to. It's going to be like, wow, what's happening with the actual technology behind it? What's it being used for? And I think people are going to start caring about that, and it will happen probably pretty soon.
Yeah, they'll come and they'll talk up the coins, this, that, and they've been always doing that, and it's like, okay, thanks. Yeah.
Vivian says you'll be a fat cat then. So it's like
who's to say that I'm not fat now? Anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, Doge is next. I see a request for that. Oh, I missed them. Well, I'll go back to those. But yeah, so Dogecoin, it held that 100 perfectly too. That was the opportunity.
Yeah.
And it really did not, I mean, before it went below it a little bit, but there it just went to test like the 50-week below it. But this was the bottom right here, and that was probably max fear too. But that's the opportunity. That's why it's better to be bullish at support than bearish at support, because when they start breaking resistance, they will start to fly. And that's when the most money will be made. So it's like just a patience game. And right now it's 10,780. That's the conversion line. That's what it needs to start to close above, and has not closed above that blue line since maybe like right here in July of 2024. So baby steps, one step at a time, support held. Now it's time to smash through one resistance level at a time while it makes its way back to the cloud around 14 cents. So still bottom held. It's not super bullish yet, but it's progressing in that direction, just like the majority of the altcoins out there right now.
And this is just a zoom in view, right? I mean, if you do like a monthly, if you just look at the 20-month moving average, it really gives you like a picture in terms of where we're on the cycle. Oh, thank you, Matt. You're so kind. You're just doing all these things for me.
Oh wait, do you have it?
No.
Okay.
No, go for it. Yeah. So right now it's holding 20 almost perfectly. It wick underneath it, below it, like the third time in a row. Now it's forming kind of like a very nice tweezer bottom kind of thing. I mean, just look at what happened last cycle before it ran up. The last cycle also had some, pretty similar morphology. Whenever it starts to reclaim like a flattening to like a rising 20-month moving average, I think we're still more near support than resistance. And you have a lot of resistance on the short term on a weekly chart above it. But like looking at the monthly chart, I think we're still closer to support than resistance to me. So I don't know. I don't know how else to kind of convey that. You want to pull up to the last cycle before it ran up. Yeah. Well, actually, yeah. You're on Binance, so it probably didn't show it. But
yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
You can show your chart. Go ahead.
Okay, you forced me to. I don't want to, but if you insist.
Yes, I do.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, just looking at the longer time frame here, you're talking about reclaiming the 20, pretty convincingly, actually, right? And then last cycle, when it did that, like that's when it really started to moonshot. I mean, it kind of hang around the 20 here for a while, turning it from resistance here, pretty clear. Turning from resistance here to support, pretty clear, right? As soon as you flip it from resistance to support, that's when it like really just kind of went crazy. And all it takes is really just actually a little bit of volume to really push it up. The same thing's happening right now. The other thing to kind of pay attention to is that all of these candles, all like 40 something candles over here, is all an inside candle to this big giant candle over here in April 2021. So you basically just consolidated sideways as an inside candle over here for like 3-4 years. Man, like, can you imagine like whenever it ends up having this bullish continuation? I think it's building up a lot of energy to go to the upside. I don't think it's going to be as crazy as the last cycle. I just think this cycle is a little bit slower. The market cap's a little bigger. I think like Matt doesn't care about that, but I think it probably going to be like a little bit of a muted response. Maybe like here, like the equivalent to like being here might be like where we're going to end up this cycle. But everything is just building up like an explosive move is going to happen. Now you ask when that's going to be, I don't know. But look at like it's sitting on top of this big giant volume shelf, right? And the resistance above is not really like that significant. So yeah, where is it going to go? It's not going to go down. It's going to go up. How much higher is it going to go? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. I'm thinking maybe if you do a little bit of like a fib retracement, fib extension, you do the previous peak here, you do the cycle low over here. I mean, like if you do like a log scale, yeah, $4 maybe, which I think it might be a little bit too crazy. But if you do like a linear scale, I think like over $1 is possible. Getting to $2, I think it's possible. I mean, I don't think that there's that big of a craziness here to think that it would happen. Same here. Last cycle it actually went all way above all these like linear Fibonacci levels. It just didn't care about any of this. It like went just way above, right? If you do the log, last cycle, yeah, I mean there's not even really like a fib level. It just kind of shot up beyond the 1.618, right, which is pretty significant. So yeah, if you ask me, I'm thinking maybe like $1, $2 somewhere in this cycle, just because of this crazy consolidation that's been going on for quite some time, and because of this big giant volume shelf down here. So it's probably going to go up higher. Yeah, that's just my thought. Yep.
Do you have a ICP chart too that you want to share, or?
No, but I can look at it real quick. Before I
Somebody-
do that, I think somebody also asked about like ADA. So I can do like ADA here real quick. This is like a weekly. I'm going to take off the Bollinger Band here. So this is done, I think 1440, and my ratio is like 1. You know, and this is like a weekly chart. I mean, I see some pretty beautiful market symmetry just looking at it. You know, it's pretty nice in terms of what it's been doing over time. Like it got rejected here at this arc over here, it got supported by the arc over here, and it basically just bounced from this 45-degree angle over there. You know, so I think that the next move is going to be up, and it's going to challenge this arc. We already back tested the arc over here, got rejected. So if resistance big breaks here, I think it might gravitate towards the next arc up here, which may be the end of the cycle. I don't know. But obviously, you have to break these resistance here first, right? So I'm not like that bearish on Cardano. I actually have like, you know, a small position of it. But yeah, it's a laggard. You know, it is what it is. But that is Cardano here. So ICP, I think just looking at it here, let me put the Ichimoku, just like everything else is underneath resistance. A lot of coins look like this. It just breaks underneath the weekly Ichimoku like it's butter. Kind of sometimes even back tested and got rejected. But I think they're quarreling too. Like if you look at a 2-week chart too, so you have a little different story, right? You look at a 2-week chart, what it's really telling you is that it just kind of went inside the cloud here, and it just back tested the cloud. And right now you're hitting some 2-week conversion line resistance here. So you still need to kind of work through some technicals before you're able to kind of break back above. But I think that this really looks like a beginning of a trend change from like a bear trend to a positive trend. I really do think so. And this is also like a higher low compared to over here too, right? So this is technically is a little bit of higher high compared to over here. So if anything, this looks like a channel on the way up. You know, I don't even have to draw any lines. It just looks like a channel on the way up. You know,
Yeah, I can see that.
yeah. So I'm not bearish on any of these things, even if they're underneath Ichimoku. You know, I don't really care. Overall, they're forming relatively higher highs and higher lows, and I think that there's going to be some pretty decent bullish continuation moving forward. This even looks like an Adam and Eve kind of thing, you know. And the whole thing about Adam and Eve is like, you know, you whenever you have the Adam peak over here, it's always at like a confluence of a bunch of resistance, and it just wasn't ready to kind of break above yet. So you need to come down here and form an Eve to kind of build up energy and kind of push through, right? So right now, if you look at a weekly chart, where is it going to be gravitating towards? It's going to be breaking to this the belt line of the Adam and Eve bottom. You know, it's probably going to go up to here, probably going to get rejected, maybe come back down here. So I would maybe like reject around like $12, maybe come back down to like 10, maybe finding support over here, work out some technicals, and then push through the cloud. You know, that's kind of what I'm seeing here with ICP. But yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's next? Are we doing miners now, or?
Just a quick question before we move on to miners. There was a question: if we could only pick one altcoin, which one do you think we would purchase right now? Which looks like it has got the most upside.
I
know, right?
Those questions are always like, I don't know. Like, I would say based off of momentum right now, probably maybe like Tau is looking good. AVAX, Fetch, AI, those are looking good. What I think,
I like the way Fetch is going right now.
Yeah, we'll go to Fetch right here. Oh, I have it on right now. Yeah, so I like the symmetry of this everything, especially flipping a previous level from a resistance to a support, and it wants to go higher. I think the trend is going to be to at least the green level, $11, maybe even up here to the 128. I think the possibilities there are really endless, and how high are things going to go? Nobody really knows, but you can just judge by if it's a top, how it reacts at that level, right? Like how it reacted at this level, it never wanted to break above. So it was kind of obvious that it was a top back in 2021 because it never wanted to go above, right? So you just got to pay attention to how things react at levels. And if they don't want to go above, then probably take profits, right? So I think that is kind of the moral of that story. But which one is going to explode the most? That's anybody's guess, right? I mean, I love XRP so much because of this chart. Like this weekly Gann chart is just one giant bull flag from 7 years ago, right? It's just, and it maintained a previous resistance. You can see right here, flipping it to support. And it's just a very slow process, kind of like what Tesla did from many, many years. And now it's one step closer to getting on top of that arc to explode higher. So I think, yeah, I mean, the potential for a lot of these coins are there, but which one's going to go the highest? I have no idea, right? Or the biggest gains? I don't really know. But I do like a lot of them now, and I think a lot of them have potential. And if you do choose the best looking charts, then I think the possibility is going to go higher. Like, for example, if you choose like an A0, I don't really like that chart at all right now, right? That chart looks like maybe it wants to hold this level, maybe it wants to go down to that green angle or not. I just don't know. So it's like choosing the best looking charts is where it's at. And the best looking charts are like a Solana, a Fetch, a Tau, let's see, an AVAX, an ICP, even a TRIAS is getting better back there again too. Like, look at that. It reclaimed the blue angle there, and now it really wants to go higher too. So I can see it getting back to $17 pretty easily now that it reclaimed the blue angle. So this is fabulous for TRIAS. So this is still a really good looking chart, and it never broke market structure. This is still a higher low from here, and higher low, higher low. So choosing these kind of charts are the key. It's not really about the fundamentals, because right now nobody really cares about the fundamentals. It's all still speculation, and eventually maybe the fundamentals will lead to network activity and stuff like that, but that's maybe still years away or even months away. So yeah, just choose bullish looking charts. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I have 4 answers to that, I guess.
Okay, go ahead.
Not really. I mean, like the first answer is, if I have to choose, I'm always going to go back to Ethereum. And the reason why is because the sentiment is horrible. The chart looks great because you just had like a tweezer right here for the monthly. And it's basically finding support at 0.618. It basically just back to the 0.618 here. And it's basically back testing the cloud, and it looks like the cloud is holding. Like I like things when they're close to support rather than getting close to resistance. So I think the longer term, in terms of where I think Ethereum is going to go higher. And how high would it go, you ask? I don't know. I mean, I think that there's a possibility for it to hit the horizontal line up here, which I think is, to me, I think is a strong possibility. This chart, let me see how I did again here. So 180, 1,000 here on the monthly, right? And you can see that it's got some pretty decent market symmetry. You know, like I'm not making this up. I just basically just chose the lowest point and then just did a duration that fits, and then just put in like a whole number. And it looks like how nice the market symmetry is, right? The cycle hit the arc here, next cycle hit the arc here, right? So could it just end up hitting an arc here and just end the cycle? I suppose it's possible, you know. Maybe the cycle ends around like 10,000. That's not a bad game from here, you know. Maybe for Matt it's not, you know, it's not that great, but for me, I think I'll take a 3x, you know. It could potentially hit the next level up here, you know. So I think you want to sleep at night. I think Ethereum is probably a pretty decent spot to buy right now. Not financial advice, of course, but just because it's at support. And I can see like it pretty nicely hitting some of the higher levels up there. So I sleep well with it. If you're talking about cycle, like I can't think of another thing that has like more cycle symmetry than Doge. Like it basically just looks like it's repeating the same cycle over and over again, you know. So I'm getting into Doge mostly to play the cycle. And if you want to talk about like euphoria, you're going to go to a regional meme coin, right? Like Doge is going to be the one that I go to. And I just kind of talk about the technicals in terms of why I want to do that. If you want to talk about a bullish chart that I currently have, I'm going to talk about Jasmine. I think this is one of my favorite ones. Let me see. I probably didn't do the can here correctly, so I'm just going to get rid of that. But yeah, if you're talking about like a bullish one, I like Jasmine a lot. I mean, it's just looks like it's forming higher highs and higher lows overall. And it looks like it really does want to kind of break out. I mean, right now it's underneath a little bit of resistance over here. But just overall, this looks a lot more bullish than a lot of the other altcoins that I have. You know, he's even above the Ichimoku cloud. It doesn't even want to touch it. It's even more bullish than like Solana. Like Solana is touching the cloud here, right? But yeah, Jasmine is not even wanting to do that. It just looks like it just kind of wants to like go up from here, you know. And if you also want to talk about like the other, that's why I don't want to just like put up all my eggs in one basket. There are a bunch of other coins. Like I do have like a position, like something like ridiculous, like Boba. It's inside the 2-month Ichimoku. It's like a super small market cap. It's like 37 million, right? It's available on Coinbase. So I usually pick like these really small market cap coins available on Coinbase, just throw some money at it and see what happens. Just because like if they're listed on Coinbase, you at least have like some trust that it's not complete scam, right? Well, I could not always the case. There could be some scams on there, but at least it's on Coinbase. At least there's some liquidity that is available for that. So I would probably choose like some micro market cap coins like this with okay technicals. It looks like it's finding support here. It looks like the next area is probably going to end up gravitating up along the cloud, right? Especially if altcoins overall do pretty well. I think something like this can just explode. Like it went all the way from like 10 cents all the way up to like $1.20 just within, what is it, like within a few months. So I think it's good to kind of diversify a little bit, to kind of play around with it, because different things give you different feelings. So I don't really have any one like particular one that I like the most.
True. I'm the same way. But yeah, I just think choose the charts that look good. And to be honest, a lot of them look good, right? That means there wasn't really that much damage overall on the high time frame with anything, really, right? So lots of things look good. And here's another example I want to show you right here. AAVE. This thing broke out. It broke above my orange level. And this one's one to pay attention to now, right? It held that 45 so perfectly as support, but it broke out. And now I think it's going to gravitate higher. If we put on the Ichimoku there, yeah, it broke out of the Ichimoku way before that too. So there were signs that everything was going to hold, especially the confluence of the cloud and the angle right there. So this is looking like a really bullish chart, and it has potential now to get back to 200, maybe 240, and maybe even the previous highs up here in the 500s, and possibly even the blue level here at 800. So it has really good possibilities, AAVE. And watching this thing break out last week, it was a beautiful thing to see, and it took a while. Like it took maybe once, twice, 3 times, and finally on the 4th try, it broke above, right? So that is a beautiful thing to see. So yeah, choose the charts that are great. And to be honest, most of them still look fine, right? Most of them still look fine. Even like, what's one that's maybe not so hot? H-bar. Even though this one, it never really made lower lows either. It just, if you look at it this way, it was a previous resistance, a breakout, back test, and it wants to go higher. Like that's all it was on the high time frame. So many charts look like this, and it's really hard to find a terrible chart. And maybe the only one I can really find that's terrible is maybe like CRV, right? Wait, not that one.
To answer your question, I stake Ethereum on Coinbase. Yes, I do. I stake most of it, and I do have some in my private offline wallet. But yeah, I stake most of my Coinbase. So.
And Kat, do you like tuna fish?
Yeah, it should. You give me a free can of food, I'll take anything.
Yeah, Kim Cheap's life just came back from Costco.
Yeah, you can throw a bag of wieners in my face. I don't care. I'll take it.
I mean, those $1.50 hot dog with a soda, you can't beat that deal. It's just, it is the best. It's the best deal in town.
I like their pizza too.
Oh yeah, and their chicken bakes or whatever. Those are pretty good.
And so I'm here every week, right? I watch the show all the time, and sometimes I'm even in it. And I watch Matt talk about the different altcoins, and I decided to put some of my money in. First, it was just XRP because I love that article about how it was like had the squeeziest Bollinger Band of anything ever in history. That just sold me right there. So I got XRP, and then I saw someone on Matt's Telegram talking about the Fetch AI, and so I converted a little bit of that, like 10% of that XRP to Fetch AI, and I'm liking how Fetch is doing right now, but I can't wait for XRP to bust out.
Yeah, and then it'll be my told you so moment for everybody that hated on it. Like, oh, it's going to do nothing. Well, it has done something, because I'll go back to it in a second. But yeah, in the very beginning, it went up like 60,000%. I mean, come on, give it 7 years to cool off before it goes another like 10,000% or something, right? Relax.
And I really like the use case for XRP as a
Yeah.
a really secure, fast, super fast way to transact. Was it Bitcoin or Ethereum? Bitcoin, right?
Well, anything. I just
Anything really, I guess.
I just love it because no other coin can match its global liquidity. Like the amount traded through it every single day is massive, right? And yeah, maybe Ethereum and other places are massive too, but they are not free. They're not basically cheap and free. So that's why I love it. It's free and it's massive liquidity, and they have a huge supply which can like fund the whole world basically, and it can be used as lending in the future. Like imagine me, oh, I'm gonna lend somebody my XRP, and instead of going to the bank, they can just take it there, and you collect it and not the banks. Like that's the future I see. I see us as the banks, and the banks don't exist. But who knows if they'll let that happen? Who knows if they'll let that happen?
Do you think there's a conspiracy theory where Gary Gensler was just artificially holding XRP sideways so that his friends can, dippy dip?
Well, there's only one reason why they went after somebody for so long, and it became such a huge battle. And that's because they feel threatened by it. And why they wouldn't waste their time and energy and 2-3 years, whatever. Was it even 4 years, maybe? Yeah, it was like 2020, huh? Or 2021. I don't know. A long time if it wasn't something important, right? So this is, yeah, it's something that might be really massive that people have given up on, and that's usually the times that things usually explode after people have given up on it. So
I just thought that maybe like XRP told Gary Gensler that he looked ugly, and then like Gary Gensler spent all his life gaining power, and all of a sudden now he has authority and just want to retaliate. Anyway, yeah.
So I see a question. What price did I buy XRP? I bought my first one at 20 cents, and then it crashed down to 11 cents. Then I bought more, and actually to this day I've actually never sold one. I just hold a lot, and we'll see what happens, right? So I've owned it for many years, and just seeing what's going to happen to it. So either one day it'll be worth a lot, or maybe it'll just be a stable coin forever. So
yeah, as we are losing viewers right now, do you want to move to anything else?
Well, I could talk for hours about XRP.
I could listen to you for hours.
But anyways, going back to charts to avoid, and I don't mean to offend anybody that owns this one, but you got to avoid charts that look like this: a previous support flip to resistance, and this goes for stocks too, right? These are the ones that are going to be challenging to break above. Like, could they break above? Yes, but in my opinion, you don't have confluence. It's just more like gambling. It's like, okay, I'll take a risk that it's going to explode higher, and I don't really like to gamble. I like more of a sure thing, and the sure thing would be additional confluences, and these charts, they don't have it. So that's why I say stick to charts that are looking bullish, and I think almost all of them on the list are looking pretty bullish over time, right? Even what's another one? WTK, right? This one, it lost a lot of momentum from the top, but it's still fine, right? It's still really fine. It did lose that angle, but it just is finding support down below, right? It has room to reclaim everything and get back up too. So even this one did not make a lower low from 2022. So I think it's still not as bad as others. So
I look at that chart and I see a 1-2 and then a minor degree 1-2.
So you see it going to the moon?
Yeah, it's prime.
It's primed to go. Yeah, and it also like held this level here kind of too, right? It held this level here, that zone really. It went up below a little bit, but it's holding. It's holding
Is
it.
that thing really a penny?
Yeah, it's a penny.
Oh, I'm gonna buy some of that.
Do it.
I
don't know if it's only because the name looks like Wizard Pay. So
I can see it's gonna go up 100. It's gonna go up 100x at least, just like in the next.
I know it's not easy to buy. It's on Bitroot, but Americans can't. They can't.
Oh, never mind.
Have a.
It's got to be easy. I'm too lazy to.
Yeah.
Jump through hoops.
But yeah, that's my story of everything. But yeah, XRP. What? No.
Someone's asking about Palantir. We've kind of inverted the show a little bit. We started by doing the greatest hits. Then we wanted to make sure we got through the altcoins, and then if we got some time, we'll come back and hit the last. We'll hit NVIDIA and Palantir here.
Yeah, only because Matt wanted to see the Bitcoin daily close, so he got distracted.
And it closed above the 200 moving average.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, see, look at it. It wants to go higher, 64.3.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm bullish on everything from gold to silver to IWM to crypto to altcoins.
How many weeks have we been talking about the everything rally? And here it is. We're
Yeah,
here.
I mean, I posted that video on YouTube on August 17th about everything is bottoming out. And sure enough, over a month later, everything is way higher than back then. So you can't be afraid of buying support.
I think we started talking about the everything rally before August 5th. And then when August 5th came, I think we had more conviction than ever. Like,
but everybody made fun of us, and that's when Meet Kevin replied RIP on my comment about Tesla.
yeah, that was a famous tweet.
It was like episode 1 or episode 2. You know, you guys turned me around on the Russell 2000 index.
Yeah, you were bearish until we convinced you otherwise.
I was IWM sucks. It's never been good. It's never going anywhere.
Yeah, and then as
soon as anything gets good in the IWM, it just switches over to the SPY and leaves everyone else behind.
That's the same thing with XRP. Let me just go back to my chart there. No.
Stop it.
No, but everybody says the same thing. Like, oh, it's not going anywhere. But I see this arc getting broken, and I see a massive, massive move. Come on, XRP. Let's never stop talking about it.
Yes.
How massive is it? But anyway, yeah, that's
it could be. Well, like going back to it, let's go see. It could be $29. It could be $29. Yeah, you want to see a percentage line? So I talked about
the info line. I love the info line.
You go on dates talking about XRP. Like anyway.
So look at it. So from those highs, or even from the lows here, it was a 60,000% move. I mean, come on, give it 7 years to cool off. Give it 7 years to cool off, everybody. It's fine. And then right here, if it went to the blue line, that would be another 4,800, 5,000%. And I think it can get to $29 over time. I don't know when. Maybe by 2040. Who knows?
Yeah. So there's this charting guy. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he's also very bullish on XRP. Right now he's in Hawaii. His internet's horrible. I tried to do a show with him, and like we just couldn't connect. Like literally on the internet.
He needs to get that Starlink.
He's coming back. He's coming back to the States, I think, in a few weeks. So maybe we can invite him over for a show. Just do XRP
an XRP show for like 6 hours.
Yeah, in wind phases. Anyway,
all right. An all-day live stream of XRP. Yes. That won't get boring at all. Yeah.
I'd be down for that. We could make a fun day out of that, I think.
Yeah, let's do it on a popular day like Super Bowl Sunday. Make sure everybody watches. Okay, so Palantir, yes. Let's see. Yeah, so daily chart, weekly chart, it's all the same. It's still holding the 786. So is it going to let retail in? That's the question. And currently, I say no, it's not. I think it might just start building this base around 36.64, maybe go higher. And worst case, maybe goes back to 33. But people that are waiting for below 30, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening at all. But the demand zone, in my opinion, is 36 to 33. And this zone is accumulation mode if you have not been in, because I think it really, not financial advice, I think it's ready to go higher. I think it really wants to get to the 40 and even the previous all-time high. And once it breaks above that, it'll go to the 1.272, which is at 55.62 above. So yeah, it's looking better and better. And today was kind of proof, like just going to the daily chart here. Like you can see, it just wicked below yesterday, wicked below, and it's holding very nicely. So the more days that it holds above support, then the better chance of building that base to go higher.
Super nice. Well, guess who else has got a Palantir chart? Me. I've got a brand new, fresh off the press. I like redid my Palantir chart, and here it is. Thanks, Matt. So what I did was off of the wave. I don't know what this thing is doing here. Off the bottom down here at 582. Before I counted, this is the wave 1 and this is the wave 2. But I decided since this was price was exceeding my my levels up here, I decided to just, let's call this an AB, and this will be the 1-2. So now Yeah, this is my 1, where previously this was the 1 and this was the 2. Now this is the 1 and this is the 2. So this is a new chart with slightly different levels, and it still matches up pretty well. It looks like price went up to the 764 level. Then it got a little, first it was going to stop at the 382, but it spent a little time below. Down here was 20. It got to the 618. It sent out down between the 382 again. But then finally it did break out. And look, it went to where we are now. It's the 1382. And that's what I would usually expect after a 764.32 goes to the 1382. And now it's kind of struggling to get to close much above it. This is a weekly chart. So this is the weekly candle so far. We're still kind of under it here. I think it wants to go back to test the 100% level, because that is my standard for any, like a really bullish stock. It does exactly this. Covering up. 764, 382, 1382, back to the 100%, and then the 2382, which is up here at 5361. And it would really be a perfect tracker chart if it did that. I'd be very happy. And look, that'll close this gap that it left behind right here. So I'm thinking it's not going to be able to get much over the high it got so far. I turn off my high-low thing, but what, like 38 something? I think it's going to have to come back and revisit 3159, and then it can move on to the 2382 up here at 5361. And then it's a matter of how much will it retrace. I did some pretty brutal retraces, and I decided let's not make it so awful. Let's just check out. This is the ABC retracing back towards this wave 4 bottom. So for 3159 to 3159, I mean, it gets an ABC back to $40 even, and that can start a new cycle. Like this just becomes the 1 and the 2, and then goes on up from there. But yeah, I don't know. Does that sound good to you, Matt? 5361 for the top here. I heard you say 50 something.
Yeah, for the extension after the 1, it's 5562. I have, yeah. So
5562. That's a lot. That's right between my. You know what? Wait, 5562. You said.
yeah,
We'll watch this magic. The 250% level. 5549. Boom.
yeah, pretty close. Pretty.
Maybe we get that. All right, that's my Palantir chart.
Do you got one, Kat?
I just want a discussion here, right? Because I mean, I already did a whole video on Palantir, right? You guys already know what I think. I'm very bullish. I think it's got some, escape velocity stuff going on. Tracker, you mind unsharing yours and let mine?
Matt will just switch you over.
Yeah.
Matt's in control. He controls the horizontal. He controls the vertical.
So my question is this: would you buy this chart right here?
I know you would, because you love falling knives.
Well, I guess it's as support, right? Like I don't know. Like I guess it could be like if you're catching a falling knife,
you would 100% buy that chart. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm kind of blind, so I don't know. But anyway, like if you look at this chart, okay, so yeah, it's at support, right? I guess I suppose like I could buy it. I could pick up the falling knife here, maybe. But the thing is, like the Bollinger Band is expanding way down too, right? Because this thing can just break through this line here and just keep going down. So if you buy here, I think you'd be buying a falling knife. There's no guarantee it's going to have even any kind of bump over here. Just look at the crazy momentum that's been going on for how many weeks now, since like May. Look at that. Like it's parabolically up, right? And even just looking at the 20-week moving average, like it's parabolically like that, right? So I suppose like could it bounce here and go to 31 and then just keep on going up, or going down in this case? I can see that. But like I don't think most people would really want to buy this chart here. So why would you try to short or sell it? If it's I'm confusing y'all. I'm sorry. Like why would you try to short and sell it over here? It looks like it wants to keep going higher. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You can potentially short here for like a little bit of a gain. I can see that. Like, I guess like $3, $4, $5, $6. Even as a closing a gap over here, which I don't think it would close. But then closing a gap over here, yeah, $5, $6. Good for you. Like you made a bet. You caught a fall over here. if you make that money, great. You know, I don't know what else to say. I think if there's any kind of like deleveraging, if there's any kind of like, you know, downward movement, like I think the August, like over here, that was it, you know. And then they try to do it again over here, and this is how far they were able to get it through September, you know, when people were super bearish. And now it just looks like it wants to keep going higher. I don't have anything else to say. I mean, that's.
I do have one. I'm sorry to make Mac switch us back and forth. Show me one more time. There's one more thing I did want to show you, which was you're asking like, well, you know, who's the retail's trying to buy? You know, what are they doing? Here it is. Here's the block order block detector from Lux Algo that Kat turned me on to last week. Here's where everyone's trying to buy. They want to get it down here under 28, and they're never going to get these orders filled. But yeah, you know, maybe my 31.59. This is where everyone wants to buy it, but it's too low. They're not bidding high enough.
Yeah.
That's it. That's just wanted to show you the order block on the weekly. Let's go to like the 4 hour. Here you can see the sell walls above. There's a one here, then like nothing, and then like another one up at 41.37. I wonder why that gap. That's interesting. 1 hour, still more gap, and here you can see everyone. Now here we do have a bunch of orders down here through this level, right down to my 31.59, right down through 32.53. Anyway, that's Palantir. I wouldn't short it, but I would just say, you know, if you don't have enough, if you want more of it, just buy a little bit every day. And if it goes lower, buy more. If it goes higher, you know, buy the same amount.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know, we do see this one going to 50.
Yeah, I see it. Like, it's not going to stop at the 786. Like I said before, if things get to the 786, they usually go higher. And like I said, it probably could retrace back to the halfway. You know what? I'm going to change this right now. I'm going to change it back to the 702. I just changed it because I didn't want to be a blockchain backer, but it is the halfway point. So I'm officially changing it back now.
All right.
The 702. Yeah. So it's a little bit lower, 33.36. So that is basically maybe the lowest point I can see Palantir getting. I don't see it going below that, maybe a wick below, but essentially people that are waiting for these lower levels, that is just a dream, a hope, and a prayer, and it's not going to happen. And I think it's just going to keep melting up and going to break all-time highs maybe later this year.
Woo. Yeah, that if it ever to fill that gap, it could absolutely just be a wick and then it's done. In fact, it could be a pre-market wick that nobody gets to trade.
Yeah, it's true.
I've seen those.
And I don't. Yeah, that's why I'm not taking profits here, because it's like, who cares if it goes back to 33? I don't care, because I know the trend is still higher and it's going to go higher. So,
yeah, I'm not catching this falling knife.
The reverse falling knife.
The reverse falling knife. I'm just like, there's no tell where the bottom is. It could just keep on plummeting to zero. Yeah.
Yep. Plummeting to infinity.
Yeah, plummeting to infinity.
Well, we're doing really great. We did Tesla first, so if you missed that, you can watch the recording for that. We got Palantir done, NVDA.
Yeah, everybody has just been Palantold.
Woohoo!
that just never stops being lame.
Yeah. No, I know. It's what I'm here for. I'll be here all week, every week. Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, it's their choice to tune in, you know, and they love it.
My choice.
I love it.
So I saw NVIDIA, somebody typing about that. And yeah, it looks really good, right? It's above everything on the linear scale here of my chart, and the Ichimoku, it's above everything there, and it's looking like it wants to go probably test the previous highs. But like I've said numerous times, that it's still making consecutive lower highs. So will it break this high this time? I'm not sure, but I can see price getting back to the 129, 28, 130 level, but not sure if it's going to have enough energy to break through that just yet. So I can still see it just going up, down, just kind of sideways, maybe a while longer before it's ready to go higher.
Yeah, you know, like an Ichimoku cloud, you thought it would run into, right? On the right there, on the right side.
Yeah, like maybe it'll just go sideways until January. I don't know. I could see that
And
possibly.
Matt was talking like weeks ago how it was kind of it had exceeded its Bollinger Band extents, and maybe was just going to get punished for a little bit. And here we are. It's going sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to see that chart? I can show you. I mean, it's always like to update the same thing I talk about every week. You know.
Yeah, because every week there's
Yeah.
one more candle to look at.
Yeah, for those folks who haven't seen it yet, this is the monthly chart on NVDA. You see how bored I am talking about this over and over again. So you got like a lot of these green candles that are closing about the upper bowl in Japan, and whenever that happens, you're not getting punished and things are going sideways for a while. Just like over here, you got 4 candles over here and getting punished for about 5 months. Over here, you got 5 candles over here and getting punished over for 4 months. Has this happened before? Yes. Look at the cycle before that. Candles number 1, 2, 3, 4 above. What happens? 7 months of sideways before going up again. What happens the cycle before that? How many candles do you have? About the upper Bollinger Band here. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm the counts from Sesame Street. Next thing you know, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 sideways over here, and you got a big giant green candle here challenge the Bollinger Band. So you got 2 previous cycles here. You got 2 potential scenario here. So far, we've gone for 4 months. So are you going to choose option A, where it goes on all the way to January, or option B, where you're about to moon in October? Those are the 2 options. How do you choose between the 2? There's really, like, the Bollinger Band doesn't really tell you, because you pull all the way down over here. It's still negative, but it's really starting to contract a little bit. The only way for it to really uncontract would be like if NVIDIA goes to 200 by the end of the year, then I can totally see the Bollinger Band continue to expand down. But right now, there's a little bit of sign of a little bit of a trend exhaustion. By trend exhaustion, I don't mean that it's going to like top from here. I mean that it's probably going to be maybe another 2 to 4x, and that would be it for the cycle after it's gone like 10x. Because over here, same thing, you see the Bollinger Band contraction that's happening over here, and that's when the trend is really starting to exhaust, but it kept on moving in, another 2.5x before it, plummeted, right? Same thing here, Bollinger Band started contracting over here. Price continued to make more highs over here for another year before it started to plummet. So I think we're at the junction point where I think the trend is starting to get a little bit exhausted because the Bollinger Band is contracting. And it's not just the fact that it's been like correcting sideways, but it's also just losing a little bit of steam, losing a little bit of momentum here. So where I see things depends. If by the end of the year we can go up to like 200, I think there's a chance for Bollinger Band to potentially, like expand down a little bit, and then we can kind of avoid and maybe extend the cycle a little bit longer, and maybe even get to like 400, maybe even a little bit higher. But if it doesn't, then I might, thinking maybe like NVIDIA maybe go up to another like 200 or 300 maybe. 400 is still possible, who knows? But the question is, what's going to happen? Do I think it's going to be 7 or 8 months sideways, or do I think it's gone sideways enough for it to go up higher? I favor the scenario where I think it's gone sideways enough to go and it's ready to go higher, because it's touched the blue line, it's touched the conversion line over here last month. And that really gives me a signal. I think that we have corrected sideways probably long enough, because I already back tested the rising conversion line or rising tangle, whatever you call it. Because over here, we went sideways just waiting for the tangle to catch up. Eventually, when it touches it is when it goes up, right? Over here, you kind of wait for the tangle to kind of catches up. Eventually, you touch it, it just bounced huge, right? So I think we're probably closer to a bounce than we are, having more sideways. I just don't think it's really that necessary anymore for like correction through time. I think we've done enough, and I think we probably go up from here. So I would not be surprised in October, November, you end up getting a candle that might get up to like the 150s, or even like 160s, things like that. That's kind of where I'm seeing things at. But, the market doesn't have to listen to me. So that's kind of my spiel here.
Very cool. Well, I've also got an NVIDIA chart. It's the same one I've been showing you guys the last few weeks. Matt will be kind enough to pull it up. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Matt. Here I've got it on 4-hour candlesticks, just so you can see back far enough when things were just going really well. And then actually started, I went off of this October 2023 low. And then I kind of counted this March 5th to April 22nd of this year for a 1-2, because I was really trying to capture the spirit of what's going on up here. And so I've got these fibs that go from 75.60 on up to the 141, almost perfectly the 140.99 high. This is like 141.57 or something like that. Anyway, if you remember from looking at Matt's chart just a minute ago, he showed you the monthly candlesticks, and they kind of jump around like this. Well, now you can see I put my tracker's triangle on it, and you can see exactly what kind of, we've got a converging resistance trend line coming down, and a support trend line angling up. And so it's just forcing it into this crucible towards the end here, where finally it'll break one way or the other. Usually when I see these ones start up and then go down, this is going to break bullishly to the top side. But I wasn't going to count out the potential for it to push down a little bit lower. Sometimes it likes to do that, but it doesn't necessarily have to do that. I was hoping maybe it would see this retouch to the 382 at 108.68 because it looked like it was going to go to A, B, and then C down to get a slightly lower low than this. But now I see it is breaking up. So unless it's planning on just really extending this way out over here, looks like it's going to punch through the top of this triangle now next. Maybe somewhere. It looks like I can even I pull these lines through these crisscrosses. This is the day that NVIDIA had yesterday and today. So I kind of pulled this line right through that action to this next fib at 61.8 again. Yeah, it looks like it wants to break through here around September 20, around the end of September maybe, at the current rate that it's going. Unless it just like wicks up faster and higher and faster and higher and faster. But usually it'll like kind of come up and go down and then go up again. But yeah, so maybe it won't go back to 108.68, and maybe it definitely won't go back to 96.04. But where it is going, no matter what, is 182.63 next. That is my next target for NVIDIA.
Hey, and this has 0% retail. It's not negative 0, huh?
No, it's 0.
Yeah.
80% of all bankers and whales on the 4-hour chart.
No.
4% others, and no retail. And in fact, look, if you look here where it did have a little bit of retail, the bankers even outdid that. Back here is like 100%. August 19th after the August 5th low here. So we might see this fill all the way up to 100% too. That's the kind of momentum that would take it right on out.
Yep.
I know that you don't predict time, but do you think the 180 is going to happen by the end of the year?
I've got this feeling. Can I show you something else? Let me show you something that I was just doing with my followers only. You guys can get to see it.
Your follower's getting screwed here. I'm just kidding.
I know, well, I'm trying to. I'm kind of clamping down. I'm kind of like, I'm not making my money through tips, so let me just do it through the plan I had all along, the super cheap $2 a month subscription. Where is it? Wait. Oh, I should have thought of this ahead of time.
You're still hiding it. Okay.
No. I just forgot. I put it on.
You're hiding bacon.
Not it. You know what? I'll come back to me in a minute. I'll look for it while you guys talk about miners or something.
Tease.
Or if you want to talk about NVIDIA some more.
Tease.
No, I swear I'll have it for you in a minute, and then I'll talk about timing. But as far as just to put a pin on it, I think maybe our next big move might be again in April of 2025. I'm looking for that's. Okay. I think we'll get like maybe an early Santa rally that finishes maybe in November, early December. Then we get the Satan really towards the end of the year, and then it breaks out again in the beginning of the second quarter.
The demonetization right there.
It's either you get Santa rally or Satan really.
Satan really? I see a morning star candle, which is another name for Satan. So anyway.
Go do the next thing while I find the stupid charts that I've lost.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, I can totally see it potentially hitting that by the end of the year. We'll see. Let's want to move on to something else here.
Yeah, just what I wanted to show real quick is that it still hasn't gotten above my level, and that is maybe like 122. And I think Danny has a similar level around like 121 something. So I think it's really got to start building above that again in order to break above. So that'll be the first step for me to see if it can start closing weekly candles above that. Then okay, and then maybe get above that 131.26 from last month, and then it'll go higher. Until then, I think it might be just high 120s down to current price. Maybe that'll be the range until it can break out of that range. So
yeah,
fair enough. So
fair enough.
Are we doing miners or
we can do a few? You can.
I know somebody's all in on CLSK, so we'll basically talk about that, right? So CLSK held perfectly. I did point this out exactly on September 3rd that week when it went through that angle. I said that's the opportunity. That's where you want to buy. And sure enough, that worked out perfectly. And we can put on that cloud. Where is it? It is still way above. So I think it has the potential to carry on. As long as Bitcoin goes higher and higher, then I think this can too. But I think the takeaway here is on the daily chart, it's starting to actually build a base and get higher and higher. And it's starting to actually flip the conversion line to like a support. So that is a good step in the direction to go to the $10 range and above. So a lot of the miners look this way. They look really good. And we'll do Mara too. So Mara daily chart, it got above the baseline today too, right? The conversion on baseline. So it's starting here in the daily chart. It's looking more and more bullish for so many miners today with their daily candle closes that I think they just want to continue higher. And RIOT especially, really good. It closed above its baseline too. I think it wants to go higher, right? And then even WULF, it's been outperforming really. And I think what it really wants to do is get to that angle above up there, maybe 578 or 580. So again, like the day-to-day improvements of almost all the miners are looking super, super good. So I cannot be too cautious with them anymore because they look like they want to go higher. What say you, Kat?
I say I agree. Actually, like I drew the GAN separately from you on CleanSpark, and I think we have the exact same GAN.
Yeah, we do. Oh my God, we're twins again.
Yeah, we're twinsies, man. Like it looks the same. This is ridiculous.
But
like,
no,
what the hell? Anyway,
that's the one that's the one I pointed out though when it went on that first week of September when I did that X post.
Yeah,
I said I love
850,
and sure enough, it went below. Continue.
just a little tiny bit. I mean, but the thing about it is, like, it actually hit my 100-week moving average almost perfectly. Like, just look at that. Like, it just decided to go down there, and the 100 weeks seemed to be important for CleanSpark, just over history. You know, like resistance here, support here, resistance here. It just seems like it's been following 100-week. Like, for some reason, it just means something for CleanSpark. So I guess that's probably why it went down there. And right now we are using it as a support, right? And like you said, we're bouncing off an angle here, and we're also bouncing off, I guess, at the midpoint, like, well, not technically midpoint, but anyway, 0.5, which I know you say is not a real Fibonacci level, but it's still an important level nevertheless. Yeah, it basically just looks like it couldn't get over a Fib level up above, broke down, couldn't get back above, came back down to a Fib level. Usually when things go up, like, you know, how many Fib levels they go for, like 1, 2, 3, and 4, then it came back down to a Fib level, and it found some really critical support, and it hasn't really touched like this trend line here at all. And it's still like a higher low over here compared to over here. Like I'm actually like pretty bullish where I'm at right now. I don't know about you guys, but I'm actually feeling pretty bullish. Like before I was bullish, I was foolishly bullish, but now I think I'm seriously bullish, I guess is what I should say. And Mara is going through a very, very similar thing here too. You know, I think my Mara chart is a little bit different from yours. I think I did like 180. Wait, no, I did a monthly is what happened. Yeah, I did like 180 and 1. And The Mara chart is it's a little bit different. It says, yeah, it's also finding an angle, but it's also finding a level here in the horizontal too, you know. And it's also got a very, very nice trees of bottom look to it. And it's also right, where's that Bollinger Band? It's also finding support right at the 20-month moving average, like rising, right? Same thing with Clean Spark, it's finding support here at a rising 20-month moving average, right? Same thing for same thing for Bitfarms. So I'm going to turn off again. It's just a little bit noisy. Same thing for Bitfarms, right? Rising 20-month moving average. You know why? Today I made a video. I said like I think CIFR is probably going to end up like closing plus like 10% by the end of the month. And it went up like 15% today, because I think that it's going to find support at the rising 20. Like it's just a theme for these miners. I don't think like CIFR is going to be an exception. So it just turned, like CIFR just turned from really bearish because it broke underneath the 20-month moving average to finding support at a rising 20, and now it looks like a dragonfly hand candle over here. Like it's just absolutely insane. Just one day makes all the difference, right? And then you have all these like even more strengthening miners, like IREN is just like it hasn't even touched the rising 20. I don't know if it even will. And WULF, I don't even know if it even will, right? And then initially you have WULF kind of initially at the end of the day like kind of go down a lot today, but then it found strength and it just kept on bouncing up, and it's like way outside of the Bollinger Band, but it just couldn't go down. Like this is how impulsive a lot of these miners are. I still don't know about like the whole RIOT thing, because RIOT is just like still way underneath a slightly flattening 20-month moving average. But even RIOT, like for the monthly so far, even RIOT has like a nice dragonfly candle over here. So but yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say about the miners. I don't have much else to say. If you want to watch my other videos, I talk plenty about it, so I'm going to shut up.
Oh yeah, shut your mouth.
You
Talk about miners.
Like that's what you wanted to do.
One last thing with CORZ, and you guys can see, I was talking about that 1060 level forever, right? And it broke out with that bullish engulfing 20%, and it back tested it last week, and now we have continuation. So this is like additional proof that these GAN levels do work well, and this is fantastic to see. And I think it's going to keep maybe drifting higher, maybe even up to like $18 to $20 or so, and possibly it could gravitate to this angle because it is getting kind of extended. But it's just great to see finally it flip that resistance to a support now. So it's good.
Somebody asked earlier about MicroStrategy too.
Oh yes, I am super bullish on that one now.
I know you are.
I went from sorry.
You went from what?
I went from cautious to super bullish on it. Yeah. So yeah, here's MSTR, and yeah, it just how it opened this week above both of those. It was like I just saw that. I'm like on yesterday, and I'm like, wow, this is actually ready to go higher. And sure enough, it is, right? So I think that's confirmation for Bitcoin too that it wants to go higher as well, because this is maybe a leading indicator. I mean, it kind of has been really, right? It's been outperforming a little bit too. So I think it's ready to finally go higher. And I guess it's the same thing as some of the other ones. They don't need to touch the cloud, right? It just wants to go up, go higher, go higher, go higher. And I think it has the potential now to even continue to the 180s up here. And possibly once that breaks, then I think it's going to gravitate to my next level at 300 right above. So I think I love this chart. It's beautiful. Daily chart is beautiful. It's on top of the cloud. It's just going higher. There's nothing bearish about this chart. There's nothing to be conservative or cautious about, in my opinion. It just looks like it wants to go higher.
Woo!
And you have one, Kat?
On MSTR? Nah, I mean, I already showed it in my video today. I feel like I'm just kind of talking the same thing. It's bullish.
Be redundant. Yeah, super bullish.
Yeah.
Super duper.
Yeah.
Are we doing like requests now to finish up the show, or I guess CRM? I see.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, we finished the core stuff. I think so. But yeah, like MicroStrategy tracker.
No, I was gonna say I've got the AUR Aurora Innovation.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw your chart on X. You just posted. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. It's pretty bullish.
I posted DK. If you look at my profile, I tagged Kat and Matt in that as well. But here it is on the screen here. Yeah, it looks like off of the low of $1.10. We've got wave 1 here at 385 and a wave 2 down to 160. So now it did the 764, the 236, which usually if it goes 764, 236, I look for the 1236 next. So I think Aurora might be going to 770 next, with a pullback down to the 100% level at 570, and then on to the 2236 up here at 2742. That's my Fibonacci pinball prediction. And that's all. There's not really much else to say about that, except it's kind of interesting. This thing opened around $10 a share, fell to much less than the 50% level, which was about here around $5. And it's sort of reclaiming the halfway point. And you can see it kind of looks like it was trying to do a cup and handle. It almost was like the Adam Eve, but the Eve didn't get down here. It kind of looks like a V-shaped recovery. And then right here, what my eye see is a big old bullish W. And then here's the little wick. And usually just kind of wicks up a little bit and then goes like that. But this one did a deeper wick. But that's what I see is the nice W shape. Have a double bottom down here. And ready to move on up. So 770 next, I think, for Aurora Innovation Incorporated. And it did have a really nice daily candle here today. Would you call that a Morobutsu?
Yeah, I would call it that. Yeah.
So it's a candle that starts. It fills the entire body, and then closes, like it opens here and it closes there, and it just wants to keep going. So that was what was this? I guess I could just look at the thing, but that was about a 22% move, almost a 23% move today. And so that gives it another about another 22% to go. There, that's Aurora. And you guys can talk about whatever else you want. I'm trying to rebuild this SPX chart I was teasing, and then I've lost it. I can't figure out what chart I left it on. It's been abandoned, and I'm rebuilding this thing.
Yeah, sometimes when you're trying to get excited, you lose it. It's hard to get back. I get it.
Do you have a cat scratching your screen on your?
I do. This is me charting Aurora earlier. No, this is actually from Market Maestro. He was doing this picture here with a cat when he was charting Aurora. So I think like Confluence, right? Like when I was looking at the screen, I think that like the level that you're going to say, I think it does want to go higher because it does have a little red line over there. So I can see potentially hitting a red line up here a little bit, higher before finding resistance, before going down. I can totally see that. But anyway, I just wanted to show you. This is Maestro charting the same stock, just earlier. And yeah, apparently cats are always right. That's what Deadwood Investor says. So
that is true.
And the Maestro agrees. Anyway, CRM monthly. What do I think? I think that it's basically it's just been like a big giant cup in the handle, and then another big giant cup in the handle. Every single time when it finds a handle, it's just backtest the monthly Ichimoku cloud, and it's backtesting some of the supports down underneath. And it's holding, right? And every single time when it comes back down, backtests these levels, also backtesting some pretty important FIB levels here too, and it's holding. So the next logical thing right now is about the monthly Tenkan, is about the monthly conversion. The most likely thing is going to go up higher. I don't have anything else to like really say about it. I mean, it's also kind of finding perfect support here on the rising 20-month moving average. And it's probably going to end up doing pretty well over time. Like, if you ask me, I could do like a linear FIB level. I think it's a little bit more reasonable to think about. It's maybe hitting like the 1.618 sometime around 2025, which is around like 426. It's kind of what I'm thinking based on the way that the trend is moving. I think it can possibly hit the 1.618 here in around 2025. And that's what I'm thinking. If anything, it's been consolidating sideways here for like 5 years now. So I think it's ready to it looks like it wants to break out. And when it breaks out, I think it's going to hit like the 1.618 here in the next 12 months or so. That's kind of what I'm seeing.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's going higher.
Yeah, it's going higher, but it's right now it is at resistance. So as Matt is saying, be cautious. No, not really. I mean, it's like battling 0.786. I think it wants to go higher. So,
Well, I'll show you something real quick if you
yeah,
want.
you will.
Yeah, I can flip back to you in 5 seconds, but I just want to show you my level here for the past 4 years. It's on top, right? So it is battling that resistance, but it also found a base. So I think it does want to go higher and towards the 500s above and go much, much higher. So yeah, this base down here at 250 is really important, and it's been holding, so it's beautiful. And that's why it wants to go higher. Okay, back to you, Kat.
Okay, so we got Meta here. Just kind of finished. I think somebody else asked about it too. I mean, it's got more room to go because the Bollinger Band, upper Bollinger Band keeps on to expand up higher, and we're nowhere near being overextended. And Meta is probably one of those stocks that actually look like it's not too far overextended right now because it's just consolidated sideways for about half a year. And the way you can do that is to look at Ichimoku, and basically what it's doing right now is this has just been riding the conversion line riding up in the bull market. That's what bull market does. It rides the Tenkan up, and that's exactly what it's doing. So right now it's probably a little bit too far overextended from the Tenkan, maybe, but I see the Tenkan's also rising up over time here too. So I don't really have anything bearish to say about it because I just don't see it being overextended, and it just looks like a very bullish chart. I mean, I'm sure if Matt has like a can or something like that he wants to show, feel free to take over and do that.
I mean, I do,
yeah. Yeah, he's probably like eating a sandwich. Before he does that, the Hang Seng Index is like up 3% again just now. So,
just meow, right? Meow.
Yeah, it's like actually, is it open? Yeah, I thought it opened at like 9:30. Anyway,
yeah, it should be open right now. Right,
it's open right now. Yeah, it's like 19,600 right now.
Right meow.
Right now. Yeah.
There we go.
Right now.
Finally, God. All right. Yeah, well, I can take a look at that. But yeah, Meta, it's going to gravitate higher. It's always wanted to gravitate higher because it never reached the blue level, right? No matter all these dips, they were just to scare people. But yeah, the target's going to be at least 646 and maybe above, right? This 45-degree angle was super important. So I could see price getting back there as well. Maybe even the 900s or the thousands, right? So I think it is going higher, but how high? I think this whole zone is going to be a big resistance zone in the future. But ultimately, it's going to get to 650 and maybe pause out for a while and then maybe continue after that. But let's go take a look at that HSI.
Let's go and take a look at HSI.
Oh, look at that. You can make a song in it. Oh, demonetized. No.
And demonetize a song that I just made up as I go along.
Yeah, so support held perfectly with my bottom arc, which I posted that earlier today on X, showing that I said that back on early September. And now it's breaking above towards here. So will it have enough strength to get above this previous candle here? I don't know. We'll see. 20,000.
Marubasu.
Oh, it is so far, but it's still 2 days left in the week. 3 days, technically. Yeah.
But Marubasu.
Yes. Hi. Arigato.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Well, we're talking about some Chinese stock and using Japanese. Perfect.
I'm sure nobody's offended.
Oh, Tachimashite.
Yeah. Look at the actually if you want to let me show the Nikkei here on the daily. Yeah. It's the yen carry trade I think is over. Anyway, I just wanted to show that. It's a lot of gaps down below, right? So it's definitely going to fill up. No, actually, I think it's probably going to go up from here. So if you also look at the Hang Seng Index, Hang Seng 指数啊，
恒生好啊，我们可以看一下。
恒生指数 ，Oh my God! Look at that green.
好巧啊
That's the ham-fisted
你们大家看
government control of the monetary system right there.
我们那个 20-month moving average 啊， 你看那个 20-month moving average， 这个是那个 Bollinger Band， 那个 Bollinger Band 看起来很 squeezy 哈，
好强啊，好强光。
然后那个 20-month moving average， 它这从一个 downward sloping 要变成 flat， 然后现在 flat 了，可是以前 flat 是 resistance 啦，是不是 resistance 啦，可是现在不是 resistance 了，现在是 support， 现在是已经开始在它上面 like up yeah， 然后它可能会下来一点，可能会 back test 一点，然后那个 Bollinger Band 那个 squeezy 的可能就会让它转一下方向，然后 change direction， 然后就让它上去很高有可能。可是会有多高了？我不会买这个，我可能只会 trade， 可是我不会 buy and hold，no buy and hold， 我可能只会 trade。
啊，好扭啊
！Sorry guys. So for those people who don't understand, let me translate to you. No, actually,
squeezy. That's all I need to know is squeezy.
I don't think you need it, but yeah, I just yeah 係咁噶啦。其實咧，你睇下咧，呢個就係佢就係已經落咗好多咯，跟落咗好多之後就會繼續會 consolidate 啦。consolidate 之後咧，佢嗰個 Adam and Eve 喺度咯，係嘛？Anyway, I'm done.
Well, now another language. Let's go. Let's keep going.
Well, this is also another example why Adam and Eve exists, right? I was talking about it on my live stream on Saturday, but like the whole Adam and Eve is because you have a big parabolic downtrend and it's going to find some kind of support, it's going to bounce, right? And then when it bounces, because it's so, you're going to have some retracement to the mean. But when you retrace to the mean, the resistance is going to be very, very strong. So you're not going to just break out on the first time. What you're going to end up needing is to go consolidate sideways for even more, which is when an Eve bottom forms. And when Eve bottom forms, it can hit the lower Bollinger Band again. And you can, but as it goes on, it can cause the 20-month moving average to decelerate and to eventually turn to flat. And when it actually turns flat, that's when you actually have a chance to try to break above. So when everybody is trying to buy like BABA down here, it's probably not a good idea. Like you probably want it to maybe touch the lower Bollinger Band again, and then maybe wait for the 20-month moving average to kind of flatten out. Like I was looking at BABA for a very long time because everybody's like super bullish at like any moves over here, right? I was like, wait for the 20-month moving average to flat. Boom, So that's kind of how funny how the technicals work out. But anyway, yeah.
So is it time to buy BABA?
Yeah,
you want to trade it. I mean, like I wouldn't buy Chinese stocks because like the thing is, every single time when Chinese stock goes positive, the U.S. stock market also goes positive. Like you can use China as like a leverage play, I guess, for global liquidity, because when it goes up, you have these like eye-popping 10, 20%, random Chinese stocks, and everybody starts chasing it. It's kind of like degen altcoins, kind of, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I don't know whether or not it's gonna make that high overall over the next like 12 to 18 months. I just don't know. Like it's underneath a lot of resistance still on a higher time frame. I think it's gonna pop like some crazy percentages, but I still don't know whether or not it's gonna change like the higher time frame things that I'm looking at. I really do worry about the Chinese economy, to be completely honest with you. I think they're going through like some Japanification in terms of like they don't have much growth, their population is not growing,
and it's shrinking.
Yeah, they kind of have like a little bit of like a housing bubble too, and they pop. So it's like the longer term trend. I'm a little bit worried about them, to be completely honest. I hope they do well, because that's my people, but I just don't know if I would want to like invest. Trade, I can see it. Like trade, I can see it going higher short term for sure over the next like 12 months or so. Yeah, you might have some pretty crazy moves, so I just worry about like longer term investment. So
yeah, I'm sorry, that was I was trying to bait you. Actually, I tell all my followers, do not invest in Chinese stocks.
Well, you're a master at that, at baiting me. So
那我们可以看一下1688
And as long as she and the central government are in charge of everything, and everything has to go through that bottleneck, their economy is going to do terribly. They've really, anyone who's competent at making any decisions in the government of China has been either jailed or defenestrated. And so, what they've got are just all the yes men who will do, they're all part of the cult of Xi. So
我不知道他在说什么。
Yeah，我也不知道。
我爱
it's a
中
real
国，
tragedy.
我爱祖国，
我们就可以说中文，所以它很复杂。
我爱祖国。I was just saying, like, I was using Chinese, saying I don't know what he's talking about. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I said it's really confusing. So
because I don't want any yeah. We love China, Chinese government forever, yay.
但是不要买。
Sorry,
Don't-
Tracker. I'm just
Well,
kidding.
okay. My father's from Shanghai. It was always his dream to go back, and he never got to go back. And I always wanted to visit China, and now I'll never be able to visit China because my social score is super negative. I'm sure after all the things that I've said about China.
Yeah.
Well, you're not on Weixin or anything like that, so I think you're fine.
I feel like they're tracking me anyway.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, somebody just offended me, DK, saying Baba is the XRP of Chinese stocks. I take serious offense to that because let's go back to XRP chart really quick.
不要嘛，大家在看，你不要在那边看。
But yeah, this is a bullish structure, right, on the weekly chart because it's making higher lows. And Baba, this is not, right? It's basically double bottoming all the time and it's not breaking out at all. So these charts are completely different, right? Even though Baba did break above this angle, right? It did a really good job. So I could see momentum going up towards maybe like the hundreds, 102, 103 maybe, but not sure if it has much more than that. So yeah, don't really care about Chinese stocks right now.
Well, what else do we have? I kind of this SPX chart that I built to show you guys if you want to see it.
Well, we've already gone past 2 hours. I don't know. Are people bored yet?
That's fine.
Are people bored yet?
I don't want to keep people up.
Maybe we'll take a peek at it, and then I think we can end the show.
Yeah, I'll take a peek with you. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe a quick peek. All right. So what I did was I used a couple pitchforks here. One that comes all the way down from the financial crisis.
Man.
Yeah, I know, right?
Man.
And then this one, and there's another one that I wanted to get a closer flavor. So this one just comes from the whatever the hell happened in October 2023. I can't even remember. My short-term memory is just blown.
October 2023 is the bottom of the US M2 money supply. October 2023 is the top of the 2-year and 10-year yield. The 10-year was in 5%. The 2-year was at 5.3%. They both have plummeted since then, and US liquidity has increased since then.
This is where all the money dried up, and then they started to pump it back in again. So, and then I did a second pitchfork here that goes through the July high we had till this October 27 low, and I'm kind of like overlapping the two of them, and then on top of that, I put one of my lovely Elliott wave extensions here off the same. So I'm using this pitchfork, but it's also the 1-2 for the smaller degree wave extension here. And so from the wave 2 bottom at 4108, we get 5223 is it's just a little bit more than the 100% fib extension. Test back to the 764. That's a really nice looking chart. One that goes 100% up. Like this whole move from 0 to wave 1, it did that exact same amount in a shorter amount of time from the wave 2 to the wave 3 sub 1. 100% move. Pulls back to the 764. And then now it did the 1382, pulled back to essentially the 100% fib here. That August 5th low that scared the, what do you call it? The Japanese carry trade. And then now we're getting a V-shaped recovery. Had a test back to essentially challenging this whole 123.6% fib. But what I see is it wants to go, just like it made a 100% move here, I think it wants to make, it wants to go from the 100 to the 200 and then pull back to the 1764. So just like this pulled back, 100%, 764, I think 200%, 1764. and then maybe 300%, and then we get maybe a little bit more of a pull down. What's kind of cool is on top of this, I did another larger degree elite wave like one back. Just have to, I'm control zooming back to where I hit it. Come on, really. There it is. All right, now I'm going to hide the smaller degree. So this is a larger degree one that comes from, yeah, that the pandemic low. So the same high here. So we got these larger degree fibs. And the target I've got is essentially just the 150% fib extension. I know it sounds like gobbledygook, but it's exciting to me to see those two charts kind of overlay like that. So yeah, I'm looking for maybe it's going to feel like it peaks out at 6,300, and then 200 points back is going to feel awful after we have this really nice move up. I don't know, Matt, if you want to compare your chart. 6,300 back to 6,120, and then on up to 7,430. That's
Yeah, I see massive moves in the SPX. Yeah,
this is the way I'm looking at SPX now.
Yeah.
And so I've been publishing. I've been sending this chart to my subscribers. I'll try to remember this one now. I've got it under this Pine Scripts thing.
well,
I lost the original one.
I made a video, I think, about all that, but I don't know if I included the SPX, but I can just show it here, and it's at a new level, guys. And like, this is why I say everything's just beginning.
Yep.
Just to sum things up, because you can see this level was back tested numerous times, and it went to the next level. Now this level is support. Whoever knows if it's going to get back tested or not, but it's going to go to the next level, maybe, right? And does that level sit at 28,000? Yes, it does. So I think this is why I think things are just the beginning of something massive for years and years and years, maybe even decades, right? And will there be pullbacks within that? Yeah, of course. But I think things are just beginning a new cycle, a new trend, a new everything for everything. And every chart looks like this. I showed this before. The Russell 2000 looks like this, right? On the RUT, yeah, it looks like that too. See, it's above levels too. It's flipping a new level, wants to go higher to the 5,000. Like everything is starting a new level basically on my charts, which you can't really make that up. And that's why I'm super bullish, and that's why everything is just going to continue. So whoever thinks it's going to be a short cycle, I don't really see that. Yeah. I see this is something, the beginning of something super, super massive that nobody's prepared for, except for Cat and I, and maybe Tracker too.
Oh yeah, ready for the. It's going to be a new golden age for humanity.
Yeah.
This new AI will usher in a new era of productivity heretofore never imagined.
And data is going to be the new oil, which is why I think crypto is going to play an integral part of it too. So, yeah.
Agreed.
And the Bitcoin also looks pretty good too on your GAN. Like it looks like it's just, So yeah, there are a lot of things that are really kind of aligning pretty well.
Yeah. So everybody doesn't own enough everything. So don't chase stocks though. I don't recommend that. I always recommend buying at support.
Yeah,
I'd support, sell a little bit of resistance so you got some cash to buy at the next support test.
But I don't think I'm not going to be selling anything anytime soon. I think I'm just holding on for the ride, for the roller coaster, for the fun, for the Catopia. Yes.
Catopia.
It just looks fun. Like, I mean, the reason why we're talking about charts is because there's a lot of symmetry, there's a lot of confluence, there's a lot of things that we're seeing together, and we're growing together. And we're not always bullish. Like I've been maybe a little bit, too bullish in the past, but I've learned my ways, and I'm not always bullish. But this is one of those opportunities that I think like I can't be bearish here.
Yeah,
just based on what I'm looking at. So
yeah, like in March, I was a little bit too bullish with altcoins because I thought it was going to continue, but they were hitting a lot of resistance, and plus there wasn't more liquidity being injected. So that was a little bit of a mistake in the early days, but still in the high time frame, that doesn't even matter, because if you just keep accumulating on the lows, then you'll be way better off than anybody else that panic sold.
Yeah, and I think like most people that are going to come into the cycle, they're not even here yet. They're watching like Kim Kardashian or something. I don't know what they're doing, but
yeah. they'll be there when Doge gets over $1. They'll be buying back in. and
Yeah.
then that'll make price go to $2 for a Doge or whatever. Yeah. So that's going to happen. The retail rush has not even started, but you can see it start with Tau, how prices react when they break resistance. So
yeah, it's going to be fun, I think. But anyway, you guys, is your money. Do whatever you want. I'm just gonna,
Liquidity is coming back to the market. M2 is on the rise.
yeah.
Yep. It's going to be good times.
Yeah, but next week's going to crash. Like SPY is going to crash like 200 points. So
says meet Kevin. Yeah. Make sure you tune into his morning show tomorrow. It's really important.
God.
yeah.
No, tune into our morning show with the great Matsby in the mornings. Are you doing it tomorrow morning, Matt?
I'll see if I can. I'm working on something, but
no
I'll
worries.
see if I can.
If not, I'll try to carry the torch.
Fair enough.
Yes.
All right, guys. See
This
you.
is it.
See you
Beginning of the
tomorrow.
Everything Rally. Thank you guys so much for watching us and listening to a sort of just get together and have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make that money.
Mwah, everybody. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Fat Chin says it's a golden age of TA.
Yes.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Feels like it. All right, guys. Have a good one.